I'm out beside my cabin in the woods, splitting wood. And the God I'd mocked and made fun of, Ken, manifested his presence. And he declared, I refuse not to love you. And to this day, almost 20 years, well, actually 20 years later now, it still touches my heart because he didn't show up and tell me what I'd been doing wrong, or had said, well, you've kind of made a mess of things here and there, and you deserve the train wreck that you're wrestling with. You put all your faith in money and this and that, and it cannot satisfy. It can be a blessing, but it can't satisfy. Here's what you should have done, or I'm here to tell. No, all he wanted me to know was how loved and accepted I was. And he said again and again and again, I refuse not to love you. And we had this, it's hard to describe because it was in this manifestness of his presence, of his totality, of his undeniability, really. And I would bring every wicked, arrogant, selfish, mean, hurtful, hateful thing I'd ever done. It was like I was able to see my life so clearly. And I brought all these things before him that I thought should disqualify me from this absolute unconditional love and acceptance. And his response to every single thing, and this is heart to heart, it was on such a deep level. It wasn't even out loud. It was just this deep knowing. But everything I brought before him, his answer was, I refuse not to love you. And this went on an indeterminate amount of time. And now that I know the Lord more, and I know he's the great I am, and I understand that he's beyond, he created space and time, but he's beyond it, that I was in his I amosity. I was in the present tenseness of his eternal nowness, right? So I don't know how much time passed, but at some point, the encounter with his manifest presence and this love and this acceptance, it shifted to where all of a sudden I was aware of my surroundings again. And I had sat down in a snowbank, almost like a big easy chair. I was reclining in this snowbank during this encounter. And when I came out of the encounter, all of a sudden I was very aware of my surroundings again. And this presence, this feeling lingered, but I was also very aware that I'd been sitting in the snowbank for a while and my rear end was cold. And I thought I better get in the cabin and, and get warmed up. So I went to the cabin, got warmed up. And to make a very long story short, by that evening, I knew something very real had happened, Ken. It was undeniable that something had happened.